Okay, so Miss Nghi, today, what are you going to talk about today? What kind of system?
Urinary system.
You remember, it's called excretory system. Hệ thống bài tiết. Excretory system is not just the urine. There's other thing as well, including like, um, creating the feces. And also the skin is also involved in excretion. You know that, right? So it's not just urinary system. Remember that. It's called excretory system, excretory tract, something like that. Okay, please go on.
Um,
Yes.
so as the body needs water, the water also needs to be eliminated. So the water is
Eliminated. Mhm.
eliminated from the body through urination, defecation, sweating, and respiration. But I'm just gonna talk about urination and sweating. To perform the urination is the urinary system, and the organs are two kidneys, two ureters, a bladder, and a urethra.
Bladder. What kind of bladder? It's called urinary bladder. Tên của nó đàng hoàng nha. Urinary bladder. Mày đúng nhỉ? Urinary bladder. And then?
And a urethra.
A urethra. A urethra is where the urine comes out of the body. Yes. Please continue.
The main functions of the urinary system is to filter blood, remove toxins you don't need from the nutrients, storing and carrying urine out of the body. Now I'm going to talk about the kidney. So the kidney situate in the abdomen, and it has several essential functions, such as maintaining the body homeostasis, regulating water and electrolyte balance, filtering waste products, and producing hormones. There are two kidneys, and they have a bean shape.
They are bean shaped.
They are bean shaped. Each kidney is composed of millions of functional units called nephrons, which work together to filter blood and produce urine. Nephrons contain two main components. The glomerulus, a network of capillaries, and the tubule, a tube-like structure that processes the filter fluid. The glomerulus serve as the first stage in blood filtration. In a process known as glomerular filtration, blood is forced through a semi-permeable membrane, which means that it only allows small molecules such as water, electrolytes, glucose, and amino acids to pass.
But the body will reabsorb the glucose, isn't it? So that's why in the end, there should not be any glucose in the urine. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. There should never be any glucose in the urine, because if there's glucose in the urine, it's called diabetes. Lúc đó là tiểu đường rồi.
Yeah, but this part, there's still urine. There's still glucose in the filtered, and then in the next stage, it will be reabsorbed. Yeah, and larger molecules like proteins and red blood cells are able to pass through the membrane and remain in the bloodstream. Following the filtration in the glomerulus is the tubule processes. The tubule processes the filter fluid to form urine through two processes, which is the tubular reabsorption and the tubular secretion. The tubular reabsorption is when the filtrate move along the tubule and essential substances like glucose, amino acids, and certain electrolytes are reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. This occurs through various mechanisms, including passive diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and active transport. The role of tubular reabsorption is to maintain the body electrolyte balance and prevent the loss of valuable nutrients. Next is the tubular secretion. During the tubular secretion, waste products and excess substances are removed from the blood and transported into the tubule. These substances include excess electrolytes, toxins, and certain medications. Tubular secretions maintain the body's acid-base balance and ensure the elimination of harmful substances from the body. As the filtrate continued through the tubule, it reached the collecting duct, where the final adjustment to the fluid compositions are made. The collecting ducts from numerous nephrons join together and drain the processed fluid into the renal pelvis, which subsequently empties into the ureter, and the ureter then transports the urine into the urinary bladder for temporary storage before it's expelled from the body through the urethra.
Urethra.
Yes.
Okay. So my question for you is the liver is the first organ that filters the blood, right?
Uh-huh.
The second organ that filters the blood is actually the kidney. So the liver and the kidney are the two places in the body that shows malfunction. Most of the time, it's the kidney and the liver and the kidney that show any problem. So actually, liver, does it play any function in excretion if it filters blood?
Yeah. The liver breaks down ammonia into urea.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
The liver actually breaks down a lot of drug substances, like large molecules, and to make them less toxic, okay? But then the second filter of the body is the kidney. It has to go through the kidney as well. So basically, it's the kidney that turns, the kidney can actually turns substances into urea and excrete it out. Okay, so my next question for you is, what is the gland above the kidney? What does it do? I mean, adrenal gland. Cái đó là tuyến thượng thận á. Adrenal gland. Oh, you haven't done that part?
No.
All right, so basically, okay. So through controlling of the fluid inside and outside, getting outside, inside the body, the kidney also plays a large role in controlling blood pressure. You have to understand that. Tại sao? Em mất chất dịch ra khỏi cơ thể thì đương nhiên là cái thể tích máu nó giảm. So when your body volume of blood decreases because the kidneys actually causes the water loss from the body to accelerate, the blood volume will decrease. So that can also lead to a decrease in blood pressure. You know that?
Yeah.
When there's too much fluid in the body, that exerts or causes a pressure on the walls of the vessels, so that increase the blood pressure. Quá nhiều chất dịch nó tạo ra cái áp lực lên cái thành của những cái mạch nữa. Nó làm tăng áp suất nha, tăng huyết áp nha. So remember, the kidney not only filters, it also plays a large role in controlling blood pressure as well. Bây giờ chỉ cần 3 ngày em không lọc thử coi, là coi như là cơ thể nó ngộ độc, nó chết mà đau đớn lắm luôn á. Just 3 days, just 2 or 3 days without the kidney to filter the blood, you would die a very painful death because of intoxication by the very same waste product that your body produces, you know. Chính cái chất thải mà cơ thể nó thải ra trong quá trình chuyển hóa, nó có thể gây độc cơ thể nha. Nếu nó không được loại thải ra. All right, so my next question, do you have anything else to talk about the kidney and other part of the urinary tract? Any other
I
thing?
think the anatomy of the kidney.
Yes, exactly. The anatomy of a kidney. What about it?
About the anatomy of the kidney, it composed of different parts, such as the renal fascia, which is the outer layer it is a dense connective tissue that surrounds the kidneys and provides structural support.
Provide structural support. Very good.
It helps to hold the kidney in place within the abdominal cavity. Next is the perirenal fat capsule, which is the layer that composed of adipose tissue and is located directly beneath the renal fascia. It protects the kidney from mechanical damage and anchoring them in place. Next is the renal capsule. It is the innermost layer and is tough, fibrous membrane that tightly envelopes the kidney, which provide additional protection and helps to maintain the shape. There are 3 internal regions of the kidney, which include the renal cortex, the renal medulla,
yeah, cortex and the medulla, very good. But you almost forgot to talk about the nephron, which is the functional unit of the kidney. Cái chỗ mà thận á, thực sự là nó theo cái kiểu nồng độ nha. Đi từ bên ngoài và bên trong, từ cortex vô medulla nha. So from the cortex to medulla, what's it called? The concentration of substances actually increases. And of course, it gets filtered, and then concentration of substances getting more and more concentrated as you reach the end of the medulla. What else then?
And there's also the renal pelvis. It is an expanded funnel-shaped cavity that collects urine produced by the nephrons. It branches into 2 or 3 major calyces, which are further divided into minor calyces that surround the renal papillae of the pyramids. Its role is to collect the urine and transport it into the major calyces, which then drains into the renal pelvis.
The renal pelvis, huh? Okay. Okay.
Next.
So, okay, next one.
I think that's it for the urination.
Well, my question for you is, what could go wrong with the kidney? You can talk about diseases and problems with the kidney.
So there can be kidney failure or kidney disease, kidney stone.
Stone, huh?
Yeah, kidney stone when waste products clump together and it causes severe pain and block the flow of urine.
Right, kidney stone is a serious problem that causes a lot of pain. And sadly, many people have it. Treatment, including, of course, you can actually do outer body, like if the stone is small, you can use ultrasound or that kind of non-invasive method. Một cái kỹ năng thủ thuật mà nó không có invade vô, nó không có xâm phạm, không lấn cơ thể. But if the stone is too big, you have to do operation, okay? And that is actually something bad. But the patient need to take care of their diet and their lifestyle changes needs to be done, okay? Because you have to treat the root causes. What causes these stones? It's their lifestyle problem, including, like, for example, alcoholism, nghiện rượu, alcoholism. Okay, anything else? Of course, there are problems, including like what will happen to the glomerulus. Cái vấn đề của cái glomerulus á, nãy em nói về cái cấu trúc nephron chưa vậy? Did you talk about nephron structure?
I did not.
Why didn't you do that? Nephron structure is very important.
Okay.
You need more time or no?
Yeah, I need a little bit more time.
Okay, you can continue now.
Now I'm going to talk about the nephron.
Well, what about?
Is the functional unit of the kidney responsible for filtering the blood and producing urine. Each kidney contains around 1 million nephron, and each nephron is made up of several parts. That is the glomerulus, which is a network of capillaries located in the beginning of the nephron. Blood flows into the glomerulus and is filtered by thin layer cells called the glomerular endothelium. The resulting filtrate is collected in a capsule called the Bowman's capsule. The Bowman's capsule surrounds the glomerulus and is made up of 2 layers of cells. The parietal layer, which lies
Let me go to glomerulus. Okay, glomerulus. Yes, what about it?
The glomerulus is a network of capillaries located at the beginning of the nephron. Blood flows into the glomerulus and is filtered by a thin layer of cells called the glomerular endothelium.
Yeah, endothelium. Nhớ là cái endothelium là cái lớp mà nó trực tiếp nó tiếp xúc với lại máu hoặc là một cái chất dịch nữa nha. So remember, endothelium means like the layer of cells that it is in direct contact with any fluids, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What else?
And then the filtrate is collected in a capsule called the Bowman's capsule. The Bowman's capsule surrounds the glomerulus and is made up of 2 layers of cells. The parietal layer, which lines in the inside of the capsule, and the visceral layer, which surrounds the glomerulus. The filtrate flows from the Bowman's capsule into the renal tubules, which are tubes that make up the majority of the nephron. The renal tubules are divided into several segments, which are the proximal tubule, the Henle loop,
Loop of Henle or Henle's loop. Yeah.
the loop of Henle, and the distal tubule. And the final step in the process of producing urine is the collection of the remaining filtrate in a structure called the collecting duct. The collecting duct then empties into the renal pelvis, which is the central channel of the kidney that collects urine and transport it to the ureters.
Ureter what?
Ureters.
Ureters. Okay, very good.
Tubes that carry urine away from the kidney to the urinary bladder. Now about the proximal tubule. It is the first segment of the renal tubule in the nephron and is located in the renal cortex.
Renal cortex, right?
Renal cortex. The proximal tubules is lined with the proximal tubular cells, which have the many microvilli, which helps to increase the surface area of the cell and allow for efficient absorption of the substances from the filtrate. The proximal tubular cells also have transport proteins, which are specialized proteins that help transport specific substances across the cell membrane. The role of the proximal tubule is to reabsorb most of the useful substances, such as glucose, amino acids, and help them absorb to the bloodstream. Next is the loop of Henle. The loop of Henle is a U-shaped structure located in the medulla of the kidney. Its role is to regulate water and electrolyte balance in the body. The loop of Henle consists of a descending limb and an ascending
Ascending.
limb. The descending limb is permeable to water and impermeable to electrolytes such as sodium and chloride ions, which means that it allows water to passively diffuse out of the nephron and into the surrounding fluid, while not allow electrolytes to diffuse out of the nephron.
Partly
It-
true.
In contrast, the ascending limb is impermeable to water, but is permeable to electrolytes.
Right? But the end result is that the more you go down to the loop of Henle, the more concentrated the urine become, okay?
Yeah.
Càng đi sâu về phía loop of Henle hơn thì là cái urine nó càng đậm đặc bấy nhiêu nha. Thì cứ dựa vào cái đó để mà mình suy luận. Just you based on that you can use your logic. Why? Because when you go down, the concentration increases of the urine increases. Why? Because water is getting reabsorbed, right? Through the descending loop of Henle, right?
Yeah.
Tại vì sao? Nếu mà cái nồng độ mà cái urine mà nó giảm, cái nồng độ urine mà nó tăng lên như thế, tức là nước bị mất ra, tức là nước nó phải được lọc ra thông qua cái descending loop of Henle. But when you go up here ascending, you can see that the urine concentration decreases, which means water is, how can I say, no, it's not water that's getting in there, but it's actually the substance, it's a solute that get reabsorbed, right?
Yes.
Cái chất tan đó, nó được hấp thụ lại, cái chất tan nó được hấp thụ lại thì cái nồng độ của cái nước tiểu nó sẽ giảm nha. Cho nên là cái chỗ ascending là chất tan nó được hấp thụ lại nha. Chứ cái nước nó không hấp thụ lại đâu, cái chỗ đó. Và có thể là có thể tụ lại luôn, nhưng mà well, nói chung là cứ nhớ cái logic là càng đi xuống dưới này thì là cái nồng độ urine nó càng tăng, và càng đi lên lại thì là nồng độ càng giảm. Okay, just remember that. Okay, what else? When
Next.
you reach the distal convoluted tubules.
The distal convoluted tubule
Yes, distal convoluted tubules. Những cái
is a
ống mà nó xoắn mà nó ở xa, thì có chuyện xảy ra. What happened?
small tube, and it has convoluted shape, which increase its surface area and allow more reabsorption of electrolytes. The distal convoluted is lined with specialized cells called the distal tubule cells, which are responsible for the reabsorption of electrolytes from the filtrate. It is located in the cortex of the kidney, which is the outer layer of the kidney tissue, and its role is to regulate the electrolyte balance in the body. Next is the collecting duct. The collecting duct is a tube that collects the filtrate from the nephron and transport into the renal pelvis, where it is then excreted from the body. The collecting duct is located in the cortex of the kidney, and it is lined with specialized cells called collecting duct cells, which are responsible for the reabsorption and secretion of electrolytes and water.
Mhm.
The reabsorption and secretion of electrolytes and water in the collecting duct is regulated by several hormones, including ADH, which promotes the reabsorption
What
of
is
water.
ADH? What is ADH? Anti-diuretic hormones.
Anti-diuretic hormones.
Anti-diuretic hormone, ADH. Diuretic là sự lợi tiểu. Diuretic means like you are trying to get rid of water from the body. Anti-diuretic hormones will keep the water inside the body, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so what does it do?
It promotes the reabsorption of water.
Yes, so it keeps the water back into the body. It keeps the water in the body, yeah.
And the aldosterone, it promotes the reabsorption of sodium and the secretion of potassium.
Mhm.
The main function of the collecting duct is to regulate the concentration and volume of the urine that is excreted from the body by reabsorbing water and electrolytes from the filtrate. The collecting duct help to conserve valuable nutrients and to maintain proper balance of electrolytes in the body.
Mhm.
That's it.
Right. Okay, anything else you can mention about the lung? I mean the heart, the skin, or you should also talk about the skin as well as the excretion of feces from the body, because that's also excretory system as well. You need more time for that or no?
I think we could talk about that on Friday.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
What do you mean Friday? Do we meet on Friday? Oh yes, we did, right? We do, right?
yeah.
Okay, then we can do that on Friday then. See you.
See you.